Good evening, everyone. It's 5:30. We'll call the regular meeting of the Mill Creek Township Board of Supervisors for January 25th to order. Would you please rise for the pledge of the flag? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being televised live online via GoLive via youtube.com at Mill Creek Township/meetings and recorded by WQLN for viewing on Spectrum Channel 1024 and youtube.com with closed captioning. Members of the public may attend in person in the General Assembly Room. Persons who wish to offer testimony at any hearing or to offer comments during the public comment portion of the meeting but who do not wish to attend in person must contact the Township Secretary, Cheryl Williams, at 833-1111 or swilliams@millcreektownship.com no later than 24 hours before the scheduled meeting to make arrangements to participate via telephone. Cheryl, has anyone reached out to you? Okay, thank you. Mr. Shaw, I understand we have an agenda amendment.
Yes, we do. We have one item to add to the agenda in accordance with Section 712E of the Right to Know Law. Section 712E provides that upon a majority vote of the individuals present and voting during the conduct of a meeting, an agency may add a matter of agency business to the agenda. The reasons for the changes to the agenda shall be announced at the meeting before any vote is conducted to make the changes to the agenda. The agenda may subsequently or the agency may subsequently take official action on the matter that's been added to the agenda. The agency shall post the amended agenda on the agency's publicly accessible internet website, if available, and at the agency's principal office location no later than the first business day following the meeting at which the agenda was changed. The addition to the agenda is the approval of a DCED grant offered to the township in the amount of $312,437 for the purchase of a Lenco Bearcat Medevac rescue vehicle. This is an agreement that needs to be voted on and accepted so the police officers or the police department can proceed with the acquisition. Based on the above, I would recommend that this item be added to the agenda after item number 7 as a new item number 8 titled DCED Grant for Police Vehicle, and then change the balance of the agenda numbers to be sequential from that addition.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Does that require any action at this point or wait until?
Yes, there needs to be a motion and a vote so it can be added to the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to have that agenda item added to the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Clear? And I vote yes. Okay, moving on to the next item, we have one promotion for the Mill Creek Police Department. Chief Height?
Thank you. Good evening. I'm here to recommend the promotion of Corporal Robert Bucko to Sergeant. Corporal Bucko has been a member of the Mill Creek Police Department for 23 years. In March of 2010, he received a transfer from the Patrol Division to the Investigative Service Division as a detective. In 2018, he was reassigned within that division to his current role as a Property and Evidence Supervisor. In addition to his regular duties as a Property and Evidence Supervisor, he oversees our computerized fingerprint system, is a certified weapons armor, and a Department Firearms and Taser instructor. He also previously served as a member of the department's SWAT team. It is with great satisfaction I present Corporal Bucko to you and request a formal approval of his promotion to the rank of sergeant.
Thank you, Chief. Any comments from the board?
No, I'd like to make a motion to approve this promotion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Buck?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Enthusiastic, yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Bob.
With that, I'm going to be receiving he and his family at the police department now, so if it's okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Chief. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Moving on to the next item is public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications. Any comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Okay. Move on to approval of the minutes. Approving the minutes from our organizational meeting and regular meeting on January 3rd. Any discussion from the board?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from those 2 meetings.
All right. Is there a second?
Second?
All right. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to approval of the bills, we have a list of the bills over the past month. Any comments about the register?
No, I'll make a motion for approval, payment of this batch of bills.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
All right. Mr. Bock?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to bids and quotations. The first one is the Windstream telephone agreement renewal. Mark, will you be handling that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The initial phone contract with Windstream / Earthlink, it was just Earthlink back then, was for a period of 5 years. They're asking to extend the existing contract for our choice of either 36 or 48 months. My recommendation is to renew that contract for 36 months. It allows us the opportunity to, explore other options during that time frame, and it kind of sprung on us, so we didn't have a chance to seek other bids and quotes. So at this point, and we still need phone service. So
Do we really?
I would also add that the base price would not be changing, and it is at a discount of $4,747.36.5. And also the extension would then terminate on January 25th of 2025. So for the 3 years.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there an option to opt out at any time without any penalty?
it does not appear to be so.
Okay,
It's a pretty simplistic agreement with not many outs.
oh, okay.
That's why the shorter term,
I was
too.
going to say 36 months isn't too bad, so, okay.
Right.
Yeah, you would lose the discount, or at least a prorate of the discount, I would think,
I see.
in any event.
Thank you, that concludes my question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other comments? Is there a motion to approve?
I will make a motion for approval of the Windstream telephone agreement renewal
Okay,
Second?
for 36 months.
right. Okay. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the patrol car camera systems.
I think Chief bailed on us, so.
Mrs. Clear?
I can speak on that, Mr.
Very-
Chairman.
Very good.
Thank you. The police, this was actually already budgeted for. They are cameras that are going to be going into the police cars. And there is also a passenger camera. This, again, like I said, was in the budget. There are 5 units that are going to be coming in, and those will be going into our new vehicles as well. But this keeps, I think, the police officers safe, and also our residents and visitors, I guess.
Okay.
I would also add, Mr. Chairman, that there was a question with respect to the CoStar's number on the original contract. So before you, I had handed out an amendment to that reflecting the correct CoStar's number. So that's ready to proceed.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for approval of the 5 WatchGuard cameras. It's CoStar's price, total price of $29,646.25.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Okay. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, next item is the lease of copier. Is it just one for the police department?
2.
It's 2? Okay. Are you handling that, Mark, or?
I'm familiar with it from the standpoint that Chris Felson filled me in on what they're trying to do.
Okay,
It's, one's a black and white copier, and the other one's a color copier. The existing copiers have reached the end of their useful life. Matter of fact, they're not making replacement parts, so they're unrepairable at this point if they were to break down. The reason that they're being leased, one is that they didn't put it in the capital budget, and 2, it's already in their operating expense, and the interest rate was ridiculously low. Some of the interest payment, or the lease payments about equals what the acquisition price is. I think it was like a $15 difference.
Okay.
So
So are we going the acquisition route then?
we're gonna lease.
Oh, we're going to lease?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. And we have those figures?
Yes, we do.
The let's see, I can't see the stupid thing. The Ricoh IM 2500 is $47.50. It's got to be the color one. No, that's the black and white one. And then the Ricoh IMC 3000 is $5,950.
Those are annual leases, Mark?
That's the,
That price is...
that would be the price. The lease cost
Oh, okay.
is, I think
Oh, I see the, okay.
we're gonna go to a 36-month route. It's 136.85.83, and the other one is 132.40.
All right, and who's the vendor then?
Just a second. It is, not quite far, Schwab,
Okay,
James Schwab and Company.
very good. Okay,
I'll make a motion for approval of these leases for the 2 copiers for 36 months?
Yes.
30.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the copier purchase for planning and development and the sewer departments. Matt?
Thank you. Good evening. Our current office copier is 10 years old, and we've had increasing issues with breakdowns and the difficulty with repairs due to an inability to acquire the replacement parts. Additionally, there are features of the copier that worked initially, which no longer function as the required software that enables these features is no longer supported or updated for current versions of Windows. We are seeking to purchase a new copier to replace this outdated model. We did do an analysis, Mr. Zaksheske did, and a purchase ended up being less expensive than a lease in this case. We wish to purchase a Canon Image Runner Advanced DX copier, model C5840i, with an additional cassette feeding unit, staple finisher, and fax board from Ford Office Technologies for the amount of $7,897.29 under CoStar's contract number 001032. The monthly service contract price is $110, which includes 2,500 black and white copies and 2,000 color copies per month. The cost of this purchase and service agreement is equally split between the Township General Fund and the Sewer Revenue Fund. Initially budgeted as a lease, this purchase requires budget transfers for both funds. From the general fund, the $3,948.65 share will come from Planning and Development Supplies account, the $914.52 that were budgeted for the lease, and the remaining $3,034.13 being transferred from Planning and Development's contingency line item. From the Sewer Revenue Fund, the $3,948.65 will be transferred from machinery and equipment capital account to the office equipment capital account. I would recommend purchase of this Canon Image Runner copier from Ford Office Technologies for a total amount of $7,897.29.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval of this purchase.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Yes?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the E-Score Pump Station Control Panel Cabinet. Rob?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Sewer Department is seeking permission to purchase a new control panel cabinet from Mayer Electric for the East Gore Road Pump Station project for the price of $11,120. The funds for this cabinet will come from the East Gore Pump Station line of the sanitary sewer capital budget. This will leave a balance of $253,880. It is my recommendation to purchase this cabinet from Mayer Electric for the price of $11,120.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board?
I'll make a motion for approval of this control panel cabinet purchase.
Okay,
Second?
moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the purchase of recycle bins for Public Services and Recycling Department. Mr. Bock?
Thank you. Jessica Stutzman from our Public Services Division is requesting a purchase of 35-gallon recycle toters locally made from Rearick Pacific, manufactured right here in Erie. This is the same company that manufactured the current 65 and 95-gallon toters that were distributed by Advanced Disposal. We have a current quote of $50.80 per toter with a minimum purchase quantity of 112. The bin purchase is included in the 2022 public service budget and is eligible for the PADEP 902 grant reimbursement. She is recommending purchase of 112 toters at a total cost of $5,689.60. Branding on the toters is $400, and the freight cost is $150, bringing the total for this to $6,239.60. So these are, my understanding is these are toters that are similar in design to the current ones, like she said, that were distributed by Advanced Disposal. And these are kept here at the township building, and then when residents come in, a lot of residents do not like the larger toters. They don't have the need for them. Some residents have trouble moving them, etc., storing them. So this gives a smaller option for people to come in, and they come in and request the smaller toters. These are on wheels, unlike the older bins that were just, non-ambulatory, we'll say.
Right.
So
Okay.
this does provide an option for residents that want to come in and get a smaller toter.
Very good.
I'll put that request in the form of a motion.
Second?
All right, it's moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
I vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes.
Uh,
Okay, well,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
can I just comment on those?
sure.
I am very happy that our residents actually will have a smaller tote. I also I know I look tall, but I'm only 5 feet tall, and I have trouble with those large toters, taking them back and forth to the end of the driveway. So I'm happy to know that we actually have another option, especially for some of our smaller framed constituents. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Next item under bids and quotations would be the agenda amendment, the DCED grant for the police vehicle. Mr. Shaw?
Actually, I think Mrs. Clear is going to speak on that.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Shaw, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have some exciting news for Mill Creek residents. Mr. Representative Ryan Bizzaro actually was able to help secure funding for a new vehicle. This is a rescue vehicle, Bearcat Med Evac rescue vehicle that's fully equipped. It's designed to rescue and protect citizens and first responders facing extraordinary circumstances when traditional means of rescue are insufficient. This is a reimbursement grant through the DCED for $312,000, $312,437. So that's pretty exciting that Bizarro's office actually contacted Chief, and Chief Height was able to get someone on it. They turned over the grant application in 2 days, I found out. So that's pretty exciting, too.
That's great.
And we were granted it.
Very good.
That concludes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And the grant agreement contains the standard provisions that we typically see from DCED grant agreements. I would recommend proceeding with approving the agreement and authorizing, I think, yourself, Dan, and as chairman, and Mark to sign the necessary documents to execute and carry out the grant.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I will make a motion to that effect, sir.
Thank
I
you.
will second.
All right. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is public hearing on subdivision and land development plans. Mr. Waldinger, did you have
I do
comment to
have,
make?
yeah, a quick announcement, in
Okay.
case there is anyone here in the audience tonight for the Alberstadt subdivision. The township received a written notice from Mr. Alberstadt that he was withdrawing his subdivision application. The subdivision has been removed from the agenda, and there will not be a public hearing held to discuss it. Since it was withdrawn, the application is now closed. If any future subdivision of the property is proposed, the applicant would have to start from the beginning with a new application and a new drawing submitted to the township. They would also have to present the new plan to the Planning Commission for review prior to coming before the Board of Supervisors. Any nearby property owner that received notice of the withdrawn application would be sent a similar notice in the event any future application would be submitted.
Okay, thank you. And with that being said, we'll move on to the small subdivision plan for Gordon Evans. A subdivision plan to show the creation of Parcel A, a 20,871 square foot lot from tax parcel 3343 to 2914, with a residual lot of 2 acres along the north line of West Ridge Road across from Patio Drive and Tract 310. Mr. Waldinger?
Yes, thank you. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision with the following: drawing additions, that the area of all buildings be shown on the plan, and that a signature block for the township engineer be provided on the plan. I would also note that if the supervisors do see fit to approve this application, it would require that a modification be granted for a flag lot, meaning that it has a narrow frontage and then widens out in the rear.
Okay. Okay, we will open the hearing on this small subdivision plan. Is there someone here to speak for Mr. Evans? Hi. You come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Gordon Evans, 4390 West Ridge Road, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, sir, if you could please write that down on the ledger in front of you. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Did you have anything to add, Mr. Evans, about this plan, or?
No, I mean, I can answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board on this small subdivision?
I don't have any. We've reviewed it. I have all the information I need.
Okay. Now, was there
I
anything
do as
further
well.
from the planning commission, or?
I'm sorry, let me look. I do not believe anybody, no one else appeared in question of this plan at the Planning Commission.
Very good. Okay. I don't have any questions for Mr. Evans. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak about this? I'm speaking about something. Oh, okay, all right. Anyone else to speak about this subdivision? Okay. So we'll board have any comments further or questions?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to approve?
I think we need to close the hearing first. Is that right, or? Okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion for approval of this small subdivision plan with the stipulations as stated.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the Dudley Medical Building and Land Development Plan. Land development plan to show the construction of a 22,920 square foot medical building with associated off-street parking and stormwater management facilities along the west line of Peach Street, north line of Dudley Street, and east line of Richmond Street in Tract 346. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this land development plan.
Okay, the hearing is open, and you state your name and address for the record.
Mike Sanford, 4721 Atlantic Avenue. And I'm the surveyor and engineer who prepared the plan. It is what you described. It's a land development plan for a new building and parking. There are two driveways, one off of Dudley, one off of Peach. We do have our PennDOT approval for the Peach Street driveway. We did submit our stormwater plan to GPI, your engineer, and they have approved it. We also submitted to the Conservation District, and he sent me an email saying it's all but approved, just waiting for the approval letter. And we're not aware of any variances or modifications for the project. It's complying with your ordinance. We do have the appropriate green space and parking, and we're here seeking your approval.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sanford. Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here to speak on this land development plan? Okay, we'll close the hearing on this issue. Is there a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion for approval of this land development plan.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes?
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right. Next on the agenda is a non-substantial amendment of a land development plan for IHOP Scotts Apple Meadville Incorporated Developer. Mr. Waldinger?
Yes, thank you. We did receive a request from Scotts Apple Meadville to make modifications to a previously amended land development plan that was recorded on October 5th, 2021. The proposed revisions to the plan include changes to the building with an addition and patio, to the proposed building addition and patio, reduction in the number of seats and parking spaces, revision to the walk-in front of the building. Proposed addition was removed from the plan, and downspout collector locations were revised. The plan has been reviewed by the township engineer. In front of you is a certification from her that it meets all of the requirements for a non-substantial amendment to a land development plan. And so at this time, we would recommend that the non-substantial amendment be approved.
Any comments or questions from the board?
I don't see any address here.
No, the address of the property?
Mm-hmm.
It is the former IHOP on West 12th Street, near Applebee's.
Okay. I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. New and amended ordinances under review. Ordinance 2022-2, an ordinance of the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County, PA, amending Mill Creek Township Code, Chapter 29, Part 3, Uniform Construction Code. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, recently in reviewing Chapter 29, Part 3 of the UCC of the Mill Creek Township Code, in relation to a potential enforcement action, we discovered that there was a reference to a citation to a statute that was incorrect and needed to be corrected. So the purpose of this ordinance is simply to make that correction so that it is now citing the correct citation.
Okay.
I think it is being advertised, and that'll be up for a vote at the next meeting.
Okay. Does it require any action tonight?
No action tonight.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Next item is Resolution 2022-R4, pursuant to Resolution 2015-R20 in the Municipal Records Manual to approve proposed disposition of certain township records. These would be MPD dash cam videos from January 26th until February 8th of this year. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2022 R4.
Second.
Mr. Bock?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is Resolution 2022-R5, resolution of Mill Creek Township Board of Supervisors pursuant to Section 493.1B of the Pennsylvania Liquor Code, requesting exemption from Section 493.34 of the Pennsylvania Liquor Code. Mr. Shaw.
Yes. In 2018, the township applied for and was granted a waiver of Section 493.34 of the Liquor Control Code, or the Pennsylvania Liquor Code. That provision is the provision that the PLCB uses to enforce noise issues with respect to licensed PLCB entities. So the township sought to, the code allows the township to assume that responsibility if it takes certain actions, such as passing an ordinance relating to noise, which in fact is what the supervisors did in order to get the exemption in 2018. The Liquor Control Board stages these exemptions over periods of time. The first time you get one, it's for a year, so they can kind of see how you've managed it. The second one is for 3 years, which we obtained in 2019. That is expiring in May of 2022. So we now need to proceed and submit a new petition seeking a further extension of that exemption in the township. And this resolution is the first step in pursuing that. It's my understanding that at this point we would get a 5-year extension, at least in terms of what their current practice is, or at least it was as it was told to us when we got the 3-year extension. So once we file this, there will ultimately be, once we file the petition, there'll be a hearing, a public hearing on the matter before an ALJ, administrative law judge. We'll then get a decision, and hopefully it'll be an approval, and we'll be able to move forward then for a period of 5 years. And I think it's been generally well received, and we really haven't, the program's worked well, and no one's complained about the program or has asserted that it's been ineffective. So I would recommend that Resolution 2022-R5 be approved.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any comments or questions from the board?
And I'll make a motion for approval of Resolution 2022 R5.
And I will second.
Very good. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the presentation of the 2021 annual report of the Planning Commission. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. Yes, as required under the Municipalities Planning Code, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission has submitted an annual report for their activities in 2021. The report is before you. I won't go through and read it all. I just summarize it quickly. They did hold 11 of the 12 regularly scheduled meetings in 2021. One of them was not necessary as there were no applications. Some of the things that they made recommendations were 8 small subdivisions, 1 major subdivision, 5 land developments, several rezonings, conditional uses. They did work and recommend the adoption of the official map of the township, which the board passed in May of last year. They are currently involved in working on the zoning ordinance and map updates, as well as the subdivision and land developments ordinance update. They make the following recommendations to the Board of Supervisors for the upcoming year. that the work continue on the zoning ordinance update as well as the subdivision ordinance update, and that the zoning map be updated to be consistent with the future land use plan in the comprehensive plan. That is respectfully submitted by the Planning Commission.
Not going to require any action from the board. Just
I
for
don't
information.
believe so.
Yeah, I don't think so. They just need to submit it to the
Very
board.
good. Okay. Next item is the financial security release request for ERI snow removal building land development plan, the Regional Airport Authority. Matt?
Thank you. Yes, the Erie Regional Airport Authority, as the developer, is requesting release of their financial security for the ERI snow removal building land development plan. In front of you is a letter from Greenman Peterson Incorporated, our contracted third-party stormwater reviewing agency, stating that they have met all the requirements in reasonable conformity with the stormwater ordinance. There's also a form in front of you signed by Township Engineer Ann Sokol, certifying that they have completed all of their required improvements. And so it recommends, and I would recommend as well, that Erie Bank Letter of Credit number 1614 in the amount of $171,719 be released.
Thank you, Matt. Comments or questions from the board? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion for approval of this financial security release.
Second?
It's moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the Stormwater Management Maintenance Agreement, Land Development Plan for St. Mary's at Asbury Ridge, St. Mary's Home of Erie developer. Matt?
Thank you. This is a previously approved land development plan. St. Mary's Home of Erie has submitted the land development for St. Mary's Asbury Ridge. Right now in front of you is their stormwater maintenance agreement. There is also a letter from Greenman Peterson Incorporated stating that their proposed plan meets with the township stormwater management ordinance. St. Mary's has signed the stormwater maintenance agreement, and it's on the township approved form. So at this time, I would recommend that the board approve St. Mary's Home of Erie's stormwater management plan and accept their stormwater maintenance agreement.
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion for the approval of this stormwater management plan and associated agreement.
Second?
Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is the sanitary sewer easement agreement for 5401 Woodside Drive, Loretta and Gregory F. Finley. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, this is an easement that is needed across the property at 5401 Woodside Drive. This relates to a sewer line that needs to go through their property. It's for the Wolf Run Force Main project, which is tied into the Wolf Run pump station. This is the only access really to get to the railroad tracks, which I understand the sewer line needs to be bored under so that it can connect to where it needs to go. The amount of compensation to the Finleys for this easement is $1,500, and we would recommend approval of this easement. It's my understanding that they're coming in the morning to sign off on it, so I would make the approval subject to them ultimately executing the agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any comments or questions from the board?
I'll make a motion for approval of this easement agreement, subject to them completing the proper paperwork.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is an MOU between the Mill Creek Police Department and the U.S. Secret Service. Mrs. Clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is an agreement with the Secret Service, which establishes the procedures and responsibilities of the Mill Creek Township Police Department and the Secret Service so that we get reimbursement for overtime costs and expenses. It's under the 31 USC 9705 agreement. The department can request reimbursement of overtime costs and other expenses directly related to work performed by the officers assigned to assist the Secret Service Cyber Fraud Task Force. The maximum overtime reimbursement to any one officer cannot exceed $15,000 during the fiscal year. And then we'll ask for it will authorize Chief Hike to sign on behalf of the township as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anything further from the board? Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve this MOU.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to communications, Treasurer Communications. Mark?
Nothing further at this time.
Thank you. We do have a hiring request for the police dispatch. Mrs. Clear?
Yes. Let's pull that up here. And it's gone. Okay. There was a request that came in from Sean McClelland to have a new part-time hire in dispatch. The recommendation is for Kyle Nordstrom to be hired at $12 per hour. Kyle currently works for Emergicare. He has for the last 3 years, so he has some experience in emergency management. And he is also a firefighter with the North Warren Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion for approval of this hire.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Bock?
Vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is a travel request, travel and training, Public Works. Rob?
Thank you. Public Works is seeking permission to send up to 6 employees to the Water and Wastewater Equipment, Treatment, and Transport Show in Indianapolis, Indiana. This show takes place from February 21st through February 24th. This event offers many classes and demonstrations that are directly related to the tools and equipment that these employees work with on a daily basis. The conference fees would be $960, and that's for all 6 employees. And that does include the expo and the education portion of the event. Lodging, mileage, and per diem would total $7,371.36. All costs would be paid for from the sewer seminars and training budget, leaving a balance of $1,668.64. I recommend the board approve this request.
Thank you, Rob. Any comments or questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Could make some. I'll make a motion for approval of this training request.
And I will second.
Okay. Mr. Bock?
I'll vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Executive sessions were held on January 14th and the 20th to discuss various legal issues. Moving on to Solicitor Communications, Mr. Shaw.
Nothing further to add at this time.
Thank you, sir. Next item is citizens to be heard. Is there any citizens here that wish to address the board this evening? Ma'am, you want to come up to the podium? Would you state your name and address for the record and also sign the ledger there?
My name
Please.
is Erica McAllister, and I live at 1415 Hillborn Avenue, Erie, PA 16505.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm here because I'm being discriminated against your police department and your community. I've been out here 13 years. I get citations in the mail for crimes that I didn't commit. It's just hearsay. I got neighbors that are stalking me. I called the police. They said that they cannot help me. I complained to the police, Mr. Mook. I complained to him. He never got back to me about anything. And I'm getting cited. I'm getting followed by the police. And I have a license. I have insurance. And I don't do anything illegal. So what can I do? What can you guys do for me? Because I contacted the American Civil Liberties Union, and I contacted the news. This has been going on for a while. The police discriminate, they laugh at me, and they judge by character. So what can I do? What can you do for me?
Have you sought any legal advice?
I hired an attorney. The
attorney
attorney's
advice?
the one that told me to call the American Civil Liberties Union, my attorney from Pittsburgh.
Okay, how did that work out for
She couldn't believe
you?
what they did to me in that
Yeah.
district justice office.
What did they say, ACLU?
Huh?
What did the
They're
ACLU say?
contacting me. They
They
told me
are.
to go to internal affairs within your police station.
Okay.
That's Mr. Mook, and he has not like got back to me or addressed anything. So,
Okay. Is he looking into some of these matters
don't
for
know.
you, or?
they have a privacy act where they can't tell you anything.
Okay.
When did you reach out to Officer Mook?
Several times.
No,
several-
when, not how often,
I'd
but
say
when
a
was the
couple
last,
months
when
ago.
was the last time?
6 months ago, a couple months ago, just recently.
Again, what, do you have a date that you last?
I have several dates. I'd have to
I'm
look.
asking you for the last date that you
Oh,
made
about
a,
a month ago.
okay.
I'm just tired of getting harassed, and nobody's helping me in this community. I'm getting citations in the mail, just because a police officer feels like giving me one.
There's an avenue there's a process for that. If you get a citation, then you have a right to request
I
a
already
hearing
know all
in
that.
front of
I
the
already
district
know all
judge.
that, but the judge is biased. My son's
that-
sister worked in the
we
office, so I
don't-
didn't get a fair trial.
The township has no control over the judge.
So what can I do?
That,
I'm getting harassed by the police and judged and everything, laughed at.
I don't have any further comment
So there's
On
nothing
that,
you guys can do for me.
I mean, you and I have had conversations
I don't even
before.
know who you are.
Well, there's my name
Now
right
I
there.
know.
We've
I know
had,
your name, but I
we've-
don't know you personally.
we've had conversations before.
Yeah, one time, but you
on-
never got back.
on the
to me.
phone.
You said you'd call me back and you never did.
No, that's not true.
Yes, that's
No,
true.
I referred you to the police
I take
department.
people's
Their,
word.
their complaint system, there's a procedure to follow. And
Okay,
you're,
so what
and
do
you,
I do?
you follow it
I'm
with,
not getting fair treatment.
have you ever spoken to Chief
Unjust.
Height?
Yeah, never got back to me. Always in a
Okay.
meeting.
All right, well, perhaps our current liaison to the police department can check into, can speak with Chief Height and
How
Check-
will I get
check,
addressed? How will I
check the
know
status
anything?
of either the chief or
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Clear.
Yes,
Get-
go ahead,
Come
Ms.
back to
Clear.
her.
Yes, I actually, I've been in talks with Chief Height and Captain Mook, as well as some of the other officers as well. So I just want the board to know that it is being looked into. And I do have your phone number as well, Ms. McAllister. And I am actually trying to get more information before I get back to you. I'd like to actually type out or write out for you like a step-by-step process so that, you can use it as a check mark system on what you can do first, second, third, et cetera. I'd be happy to sit with you and fill out paperwork. Sorry, is that me?
No, that's
Oh,
okay.
Okay. But I would be happy to sit down with you even at, at the table out here or whatever, or we bring it in here, and you can fill out the paperwork, I'll fill it out with you even,
Should I call you for an appointment or?
Yes, you know what, I was actually planning on calling you once I actually got the procedure,
Okay.
because I want to make sure that I'm informing you on what to do the right way. But you're on a pink slip of paper right next to my phone, so I have your information. But that was my plan, is, my teaching background, put it into list form, and we check it off and see how we go from there. I don't know about the ACLU. You may want to continue to go through that avenue.
The attorney said I'm being discriminated because she came here to represent me and she couldn't believe what she's seen in there.
So at least we can do something internally. Mr. Bock, I think that's what you had suggested too, through the internal process. Okay, so I think that that was the avenue that I was going to lead you down,
Okay.
okay?
I hope somebody helps me.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, you're
All right.
welcome. Is there anyone else here to offer public comment? Okay. Hearing nothing further?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to thank everyone for being here today. It's so great to see people in the audience. Thank you very much for caring about your local government. This is where the magic happens, so thank you. I'm going to probably say that every week we have one, so just so you know.
Okay.
Magic.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned at 6:22. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I'm still saying it.